Hello everyone, and welcome to this latest Minty Reviews. I'm MintySquidz, or am I? And we're here for Secret Invasion, Marvel's new MCU show from Disney+, with the return of Nick Fury and the S.H.I.E.L.D. people and government conspiracy stuff. Yeah, great show. Anyway, we're here for Secret Invasion. I've been very excited for this show, and also strangely, it's been a while since we've had an MCU show. I think the last one was actually She-Hulk, because I did a reaction series to She-Hulk, and I think that was the last MCU Disney Plus series we've had, which honestly I'm kind of okay with. I'm a little okay with the fact that the Disney Plus series have been slowing down a bit and giving them more time to breathe, because like those initial Disney Plus series, beyond Loki, which did feel like its own self-contained thing, Falcon Winter Soldier felt rushed and felt really choppy by the end. WandaVision, it was great up until the end, which felt choppy. Still love WandaVision, like that's still my favorite one, probably still ultimately my favorite one. Hawkeye felt a little bit rushed. Like all of them felt just like a little rushed at this point, except for Loki. Loki's the only one who's like, no, this one actually felt pretty alright. So I am kind of happy the fact that it's been a little bit since we've had an MCU show. As I've been doing with these reviews, like I did with these Strange New World reviews for Star Trek, I'll do like a little initial non-spoiler little review thing first, and then I'll go into spoilers. I'll let you all know when spoilers are by, doing a little thing. So non-spoilers first, here we go with this. I really enjoyed this first episode, and it's really cool to seeing Nick Fury again, because we haven't seen Sam Jackson's Nick Fury for sure since like Far From Home. And even then, that was turned out to be Talos in disguise, him and his wife taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. for a little bit while Fury's up creating Saber. We actually haven't had Nick Fury, honestly, since Winter Soldier. It's been literally since Winter Soldier the last time we actually had Nick Fury. So it's really cool actually seeing Fury back again. Not spoilers here, but also cool seeing Maria Hill back, seeing Colby Smulders. I will get into her a little bit later. And seeing some other like S.H.I.E.L.D. people as well. And having this atmosphere and this theming of like this conspiracy going on, which we haven't had since Winter Soldier as well. And this one definitely did feel like an actual spiritual successor to Winter Soldier, kind of like how the first half of Falcon Winter Soldier did. The back half got a little iffy, got a little messy, and it's going to be interesting to see where this series goes, because it only have 6 episodes, so it's going to be intriguing to see what they do with those 6 episodes. And Marvel kind of doesn't have the best track record at the moment with dealing with actual political issues and political theming beyond like some instances in Winter Soldier, because Falcon Winter Soldier, it's going to be weird talking about these series because they all have the same names, but Falcon Winter Soldier had a decent political message that I thought they were going for, and then they just kind of ruined it by the end, where there's like, yeah, no, senators, just do better. It's like, yeah, sure, just trust the government to do better, sure. But like also I think the villains in Falcon Winter Soldier, or the antagonists, the Flag Smashers, they were all kind of right until the very end, where they're like, no, we're just going to commit genocide now. It's like, no, you had a good message there the whole time. So I'm going to be intrigued to see what they do with the Skrulls in Secret Invasion, because the Skrulls had already been set up in Captain Marvel as refugees, so it's like, they're gonna do like the radicalized refugee storyline, because man, I really hope not. That's gonna be not good, and especially in like the current political climate we're in the world. But it's gonna be a very delicate balancing act for this show, and I'm really intrigued to see what they do with it, and I kind of hope they do it well. But beyond all that, still non-spoilery, I like the atmosphere of the show, I like the theming of the show, and the acting is next level. The acting is so good in this show compared to other MCU stuff we've seen recently. Sam Jackson is just absolutely knocking out of the park in this one. It is so good to see him back as Nick Fury, and same with Colby Smulders. It's so good to see her back as Maria Hill, and honestly it's so good seeing Ben Mendelsohn back as Talos. That whole dynamic between those three is so good, and it just felt so natural, and it felt like they have like lived in these characters forever, which is great. But beyond that, the actual Skrull instances and stuff in this, some interesting plot stuff there, some interesting like character stuff there, some interesting stories that I will get into in the spoiler section. But overall, my non-spoiler thoughts of it, really enjoyed this first episode, really excited to see where they go from here. And just it's cool seeing Sam Jackson back as Nick Fury and him being full Nick Fury, and some theming there as well, which I'll get into. And with that, it's going to be the end of the non-spoiler section. So we're going to get to spoilers now. So in 3, 2, 1, Skrulls. So, to get into spoilers here, I'm not going to do like I did with Strange New World going through the whole episode. I'm just going to go through like little bits and pieces. So first off, the cold open was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. They released the cold open, most of it online to watch as well. But this cold open was great. We see Martin Freeman back as Everett Ross. However, it's not. He's actually a Skrull, which the thing is, like, you can kind of tell he's a Skrull just by how he's acting in the scene, which is really great. But then, of course, that then, because of the whole idea of the show, spawns the question of, well, how long has he been a Skrull then? How long has Everett Ross been a Skrull? Has he been a Skrull this whole time? Like, is the Ross we see in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, is he a Skrull? Was he a Skrull back in the original Black Panther? Is he not? Like, it asks that question. And the thing is, like, the question is probably never going to be answered, or it might be in this series, but we don't know. We don't know. And yeah, the Skrulls can take over people multiple times. They can have multiple Skrulls be the same person. Doesn't matter. But it has the question now be lingering there of like, how long has Ross been a Skrull? And it also sets up the whole idea of who else is a Skrull in this series, because that's the whole point about the Skrulls, is they are shapeshifters. They can change into whoever they would need to change into. And we find out in this series as well, they can also just take their memories too. They're using the same thing they used on Carol back in the Captain Marvel movie to, like, you know, show her memories or whatever. And they're doing that to put them in like a vegetative state. And then they're brain wiping them. And like, the best way I can put it, the brain wiping them. And they're taking all their memories and their thoughts. So that is very creepy, very unfortunate, and interesting. It's very intriguing to see that. So the Skrulls can literally be anybody. So the overall plot, though, we're getting, and this is going into what I was talking about in the non-spoiler section about the political stuff, is we're having this idea that Nick Fury's coming back, and there's now a rogue group of Skrulls who feel like they were abandoned by the people who were supposed to help them. By Carol, by Fury, by S.H.I.E.L.D., now by Talos as well. They had all felt abandoned, and because they were refugees and they were trying to find their own planet again, trying to find their safe haven, they felt like they were being forgotten about by the people who said they were going to help them. Now, yes, the blip happened. Fury got blipped out of there. Carol was off protecting the galaxy, because that's what Captain Marvel does, and Talos was trying to hold everything together. Unfortunately, he was kicked off the Skrull Council, and the Skrulls kind of went a little bad. And the thing there with that is that this story's been done a few times before, of you have refugees getting radicalized, becoming terrorists. I hope they don't fully go into that. I really hope they don't, because that is a very, very big political thing that I don't honestly trust Marvel and Disney to handle well. Granted, they did it well in Andor. So it all depends on the showrunners, all depends on the writers. I hope they can handle it well. It's just Marvel at this point has not given me the best track record with it, just because of Falcon Winter Soldier. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with this, but we do get introduced to this new splinter group of Skrulls led by a Skrull named Gravik, who I don't think we've met before. We might have met him in Captain Marvel. I don't remember him, but we have Gravik, who is the leader of this Skrull rebellion, resistance, whatever, and his whole plan is to get the Skrulls to take over Earth, and then they can just, you know, control Earth, which is kind of the general Secret Invasion plotline of Skrulls invading Earth, taking over. So we got that. It's a pretty generic plot there. The interesting part with that is we have Gaia, who is Talos' daughter from Captain Marvel. She's now grown up, played by Emilia Clarke. She's part of the Rebels. She's part of this group from Gravik, and it's really cool. A really cool dynamic in the show is the struggle between Talos and his daughter, and to see what side is she going to be on. And we get a lot of that in this first episode alone, and it's going to be definitely a major theme running forward and a major plot running forward of what side is she going to go on. Is she going to go with her dad now that she knows her mom is dead? Also, Talos' wife died off screen. Cool. Yay, they did that. They just killed her off screen. That would have been great to see on screen, but whatever. So now that she knows that her mom is also dead, is she going to go back to her dad? Is that just going to radicalize her more? Like, what's going to go on with her? And also the fact that she's played by Emilia Clarke. Great, too. Emilia Clarke's great. Love Emilia Clarke. But beyond that, then we get the actual, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff with Fury, Hill, and Talos, where they're basically trying to stop the Splinter Group from causing terrorist attacks and everything, where it basically seems like the whole plot of the Skrulls is to kind of frame other countries to then have like a big world war and then have all the humans kill themselves with nuclear war, because the Skrulls can survive nuclear radiation, because that's just what they can do, because aliens. And Fury, Hill, and Talos are trying to stop them from, setting off a dirty bomb in the middle of Russia. Makes sense. Pretty normal by the books, by the numbers conspiracy stuff, which is pretty nice. However, with all that too, Fury's great. The dynamic between Fury, Hill, and Talos is great. Honestly, the dynamic between Fury and Talos is phenomenal. I absolutely love that. It's like an old bromance that's like kind of rekindling, but they're like, we've been away for a little bit at this point. They crack some jokes with each other. There's one great joke about Talos being like slightly middle-aged in terms of Skrull age. He's like 136 or whatever. He's like, I'm only like 40 in Earth years, and like I haven't done my midlife crisis shopping spree yet. What did you do for yours, Fury? And Fury's like, I bought the Avengers. Fair. Honestly, completely fair. Completely fair. Beyond all that, what we then get is this really interesting dynamic and theme where every character is basically like, Fury, you're getting too old for this. You're losing your touch. You're not as good of a spy as you used to be. Like, you're getting kidnapped by Olivia Colman's character's dudes. He's like losing intel. He's not like seeing things the way he should be seeing things in the field. Like, everyone's like, hey, you're losing your touch, Fury. Like, what's going on? And even Hill says this as well. And this is a great scene in the bar where her and Fury are playing chess. And she literally says to Fury, you told me that if you don't know your footing, then step away and go away. And just make sure you understand your footing or someone's going to get hurt. And this is foreshadowing, very sadly, the fact that Maria Hill dies at the end of this first episode, which is very impactful. I do not like the fact they killed Maria Hill, and it made me very sad, very, very sad, because I love the character Maria Hill, and I love Colby Smulders as Maria Hill. I thought she was a great Maria Hill, and they killed Maria Hill off at the very end of this episode. So, with it being Marvel, with it being the MCU, with it being Skrulls now, there is always the idea and there's always the option of they can just bring her back later and there was actually a clone or whatever that died. That's a cop-out, sure, but they can always do it if they want to bring her back. But the fact that Hill was already foreshadowing this to Fury and then it comes to fruition, I do fully believe this is going to, like, reignite that, like, super spy in Fury to, like, get back on the horse better than he was on it and go back into full Fury, which is, I think, going to be cool. I don't like the fact they had to kill Maria Hill to do that, and I don't like that at all. But we'll see if they actually do that, or if it leads to something else. We'll see what happens there. Along with that, the only other thing I really want to necessarily bring up in this series is something that people have talked about a bunch as well at this point, is the fact that the opening credits were done using AI. And it's a really strange topic to talk about because of the prevalence of AI now taking over like spaces of art. And the AI opening sequence is supposed to give off this uneasy feeling, this unnatural feeling, this feeling of like you can't trust what you're looking at, which I understand that. That's the whole point of the show. It's the whole theming of the show, with the fact that you can't trust who you think you can trust. However, and also the fact that the AI was like 2 generations prior of AI, which is like, okay, this is giving us some weird uncanniness too. The other thing about it though is like, yes, I understand the feeling behind doing this. However, you could have just hired an artist. You're Disney. It's not like you don't have the money to hire artists. Like, I understand some of your movies are flopping lately, but you're Disney. You have the money. You can just hire an artist to do the same thing and not just take away an art position, an art job from someone who could just do this as well, this is the reason why like half of Hollywood's striking right now, because they're not getting paid enough and they're getting replaced by AI. You can't replace art with AI. You just can't. You just can't. We had this whole trend a couple months ago with AI art. It got really annoying real fast, and the artist very, very fervently like came out against it. So it's a really unfortunate situation that Marvel's in right now with this title sequence. And also, I just love title sequences. Like, it's kind of a lost art a little bit of just title sequences. And the fact that Marvel went this route to do an AI for it, and again, I understand the purpose of doing it for this series, is just an unfortunate timing situation of doing it with this series. So I hope they don't continue using AI in the future for title sequences. I hope it's just for this situation, but it is an interesting topic to discuss as well. So let me know down in the comments as well, what do you think about the whole AI situation with the title sequence. But beyond that, that's based on my review of Secret Invasion episode 1. It was a really great opening episode. Love the atmosphere of it, love the acting of it. Iffy about the overall story, iffy about the overall plot and story of it. Very intrigued to see where they go with it. Hope they don't mess it up. Basically, I hope they don't mess it up. And very upset the fact they killed Maria Hill in the end of the first episode. But beyond all that, great first episode. I am excited to see where they go with this 6 episodes. The fact that it's 6 episodes as well is also great because they can condense everything down and just have a straight story that they need to go with. So it's going to be intriguing to see what they do with this, and I am excited to see where they go with it. But either way, let me know down in the comments what you think about this episode as well. Leave a like if you like the review as well, and you want to see more as well. If you want to see more and be updated, subscribe as well. It definitely does help out as well. It helps boost the channel, the algorithm, everything, and you'll see some more Marvel stuff. I'll be doing some more Marvel stuff as they finally start, releasing things, just like with Star Wars and Star Trek and everything. As they keep releasing things, I'll keep doing more stuff. But either way, right over here is going to be a playlist for other reviews. Let's go Star Trek right here, because I love me some Star Trek. And over here is going to be a video that YouTube recommends for you as well. Until next time, just stay cognizant of who might be a Skrull in your life. Keep on the lookout for those Skrulls. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace everyone. Peace.